My name is Indi Sinclair, and this is Chance for Her. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Indi Sinclair, and this is Chance for Her. No matter who you are, where you are, or why you came, I am just so happy that you are here. I have made the executive decision in my life that I no longer want to survive, but I want to live. I think our experiences shape us and warp us into survival mode sometimes in life. And what happens is we get to this place where we have mastered survival. But we're not fully able to recognize that that's what we're living in, like survival mode or just surviving, because from the outside looking in, we're doing well. We have jobs, we're in school, we have families, whatever that looks like for you, but you're doing well. But doing well does not equate to living well. You know what I mean? Like surviving and living are two very different concepts. I think after you have mastered and made your way through the other side of hard seasons or hard situations throughout your life, you fail to realize that survival mode has become a default mode for you. You now constantly are waking up, going to work, going to school, doing your routine, handling all of your business, but you're not fully living life. And I think that something that is meant to be temporary, right? Because survival mode is temporary. It's typically what we go into when we face an experience in life that we kind of have to brace for, that we weren't expecting. It's temporary. It's not meant to be a forever kind of thing. But I've found that for myself that I have had a tendency of making that a permanent in my life instead of a temporary thing. I think that I operate from this mindset of like, yeah, I'm in school. Yeah, I have a job. Yeah, I'm living, but I'm always bracing for something bad to happen. I'm always thinking that while, yes, I have everything that I need right now in my life, that there is a possibility that all of these things, people, experiences can just diminish. And I think one of the things about that is when you're always bracing, when you're always preparing, when you're always like in that survival kind of fight or flight mindset, you're never fully living. So much so to where you will convince yourself that even when things are good, even when things are perfect, even when the stars are aligning and life is finally starting to feel, you know what I mean, like amazing, that you're still on edge. But the reality of a situation is life is very short. And we all have this imaginary, invisible clock going on in life that basically is dictating how much time we have on earth. And I've decided for myself that I no longer want to walk through life. I no longer want to exist on this earth simply surviving, because that's such a miserable place to be in. Nothing is promised. Nothing is guaranteed. So why would I spend my prime years, my younger years, preparing for a disaster that may never happen? Because essentially what you're doing is exerting the energy that unfortunately you're going to need one day when disaster does happen, when disappointment does happen, when you have to survive. You're wasting that on the moments in life where that's not necessary. And when those times come and you will need the emotional support, emotional just bandwidth to be able to withstand all these things, you won't have it. You won't have it at all. I think one of the most important things, because you may be sitting there like, okay, but how do I know like if I'm surviving versus living or whatever the case may be? It kind of goes into, again, previous episodes about being high functioning and all these things, but you have to ask yourself, like, when you are around friends, when you are around a good time, are you actually present in the moment, or are you enjoying time while you're watching your phone, while you're watching your watch to see how much time has passed, how much time has elapsed, when it's time for you to go home, when should you be thinking about calling your Uber? Are you able to let the good moments stay good? Or are you quickly that person who, once something starts to feel too good, you almost start to deflect from the actual good moments that you are experiencing? I think the other thing when it comes to surviving and living and all these things is like you have to allow yourself to be loved. You have to allow yourself to have these friendships, have these relationships without bracing for what they might bring. We've spoken about this before, but that people are going to treat you and show you who they are throughout life. And while, yes, it's up to you to believe them and decide how you want to carry on in those things, you shouldn't brace for impact when it comes to love. You shouldn't brace to impact you shouldn't brace for impact when it comes to joy, when it comes to happiness, when it comes to living life, because you're never fully leaning into that experience of living. And I think for me, I want joy, I want peace, I want depth, I want presence, I want a village. But most importantly, I am tired of keeping my head above water. I want to swim. I don't want to just stay afloat. I don't want to just maintain. I want to live. I want to live. I want to see the world. I want to travel. I want to be in love, stay in love. I want to have friends who pour into me the way in which I pour into them. And I think one of the things when it comes to survival mode is if you stay there too long, you won't even realize that you're in it. You won't even realize that you are simply just surviving, just trying to make it through each day. And I don't want you guys to get confused by what I'm saying, because I think while, yes, especially in our earlier years, this whole like busting your butt to, get to where you want to be is important, and hustling and stuff like that is important, but you have to make sure that you're enjoying every moment too. So like in the midst of all this work that you're doing, in the midst of all these, assignments for school or whatever that may be for you in your own life, that you are enjoying life, that you are experiencing things. Because if not, you kind of put yourself in this like cocoon almost, and before you know it, you're 40, you're 50, and you haven't lived. You've simply just been surviving. So hopefully kind of just with that whole concept, if you are someone out there, if you are someone viewing this, and whether you yourself have found yourself in survival mode, or you know of friends or family or loved ones who are currently in survival mode, please, please, please encourage them to live, because the two are not the same. And our experiences in life will shape us and make us believe that they are the same, but they are not the same. They are two very, very different entities. One can exist without the other. And I think, at least for me personally, I have made that executive decision to live my life and not just survive through it. All of this wrapped in a nutshell, I just want you guys to remember that as you're walking through life, as you're moving through life, as you're experiencing these things through life, it's okay to not have it all together. It's okay to not have a solution. It's okay to not, have everything figured out. But as long as you're constantly growing and learning and just trying to be better and find that light within yourself, you're doing the right thing. So always, always, always remember that the light that you seek in this world has always been within you. It's just up to you to find it and let it shine. My name is Indi Sinclair, and this is Chance for Her.